guys, this is Kelly with Freedom on a Budget, and this is my first book review. I want to start doing these on a regular basis. I want to start reading one financial or one nonfiction self-improving book a month. I'm not really a reader, but I want to become one. Dave Ramsey talks a lot about on his show that through his interviews and his research, one of the big things that separates the wealthy from the poor is how much they read. So that's something that I've really challenged myself this year and something that I really wanted to start doing. This book right here is called QBQ, The Question Behind the Question by John G. Miller. This was actually a book that my company had me read when I was out doing some corporate training for them out in Salt Lake. They had everyone in the company that's been hired within the past, I think, 3 or 4 years to read this book, which is awesome. We had to read it within the week that we were there and do a little book report on it. And it was just such an awesome book. So I just want to kind of dig in and share with you some of the things that really struck me. It's a super easy read. I read it probably within 2 or 3 nights while I was there. So the book starts out with chapter 1 with the author telling a story about how he was sitting down at a restaurant, and it was a busy restaurant, and one of the busboys, not a waiter but a busboy, came over to him and asked if he could get him a drink, and he asked for a Diet Coke. The busboy said, "I'm sorry, we don't serve Diet Coke. We only serve Pepsi products. Is Diet Pepsi okay?" And the author said, "No, water's fine, thank you very much." And so he said, "Okay." So then the waiter brought him the salad, bread, and water that he had ordered before the meal came out. And then maybe 15 minutes later, all of a sudden, the busboy brought over a Diet Coke. And he was like, "But you don't serve Diet Coke." He says, "We don't." He said, "Well, what's going on here?" And he said, "Oh, I sent my manager down to the corner store to get you a Diet Coke." And the author was just blown away by this. This is customer service. He said immediately he wanted to sit down and talk to this guy and see what makes him tick. And he says he is management material right here. Just from that, I'm going out of the way. In the book, mostly it's stories of different things that he's come across, of people going out of their way and doing things. It talks about IQs. And the book defines IQ as an incorrect question. They're negative and they don't solve any problems. So he's found that a lot of times people are all asking questions. Why do I have to do everything around here? Who's supposed to be covering this area anyway? When is management going to provide us with more products? Why are you always so short-staffed? When are customers going to learn to read the menu? Different things like that, where it's all blame, and he's talking about personal accountability. He is talking just different things like different ways where you've been that person that he's talking about. And he puts it in a really way of telling a story about someone else when you're like, "Oh, crap. I've done that. I've said that. I blamed my manager for that when really I need to take responsibility. Or I blame my husband, or I blame my children when it's my fault, and the only way it's going to fix it is if I take responsibility for that." The third chapter, it says, "The question behind the question is built on the observation that our first reactions are often negative, bringing out to mind incorrect questions. But if each moment of decision we can instead discipline ourselves to look behind those initial incorrect questions and ask ourselves better ones, QBQs, the questions themselves will lead to better results." QBQs are questions we generally ask ourselves, not others. So the simple guideline for a QBQ is to begin with what or how, not why, when, or who. Contain I, not they, we, or you. Focus on action. So it really teaches you how to train your mind to change your thought process, to not point the finger at other people, but to say, okay, how can I change this situation? Let's see, I flagged a couple pages here. In many organizations today, people are striving to hold better conversations and experience a higher level of dialogue with their colleagues. A terrific way to get there is to ask QBQs such as, what can I do to become a more effective listener? How can I better stand others? Like I said, just ways to think and process through things. All right. Chapter 20, Personal Accountability Begins with You. I marked up this book. When I read, I write in it, I star it, I underline it, dog tag it. Let's see. Okay, then in the back of the book has QBQ FAUs. And so just kind of simple questions. Like, teamwork is critical in our organization. How does the QBQs focus on individual conflict with the importance of teamwork? It says, not at all. The QBQ is an excellent tool for teams because teams are founded on individuals. And when individuals practice personal accountability for their own actions, choices, and results, the team can do great things. Nothing destroys the team faster than blame, procrastination, victim thinking, and complaining. Also, since we want to hide behind the team, using as an excuse for something not getting done, the QBQ asks, how can I help the team move forward? And the keyword in that is I. And then in the back it says, getting more out of QBQs. How could the QBQ help me outside of the workplace? What is flipping the switch about? Actually, Flipping the Switch book takes QBQ to the next level. So Flipping the Switch is this next book. We use the IQ and QBQ format to help people understand how to bring the advantage principles, learning, ownership, creativity, service, and trust. Stories and examples support each principle, enabling the reader to implement them at work, at home. Flipping the Switch, just like QBQ, is a quick and fun read. So it's an awesome little book. Total, it is 137 pages. Super easy read, guys. It's awesome. So, that is my book review for QBQ, The Question Behind the Question by John G. Miller. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.